Welcome back to Is It Canon? That's Ann. I'm Tom. How you doing, Ann?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited about this week's episode talking about the Notorious Ninja. If you couldn't tell, for our viewers, if you're listening, we're both wearing Notorious Ninja shirts. I said one of us should change and laughed, and she outdid me because she has her ninja hat on and I do not.
Somebody had to. I also brought all the comics out. I finally got cover number B.
Number B, yep.
Which is a funny story because I just bought it on eBay and then ripped it myself the next day. That's how it always goes.
You always need 2 copies of something, though.
Yeah.
And they should be in board and bagged.
Well, I always have some just like to read out and like probably put on the wall. The one that's coming is going to be maybe grading or getting like a remark on it.
Got it.
Well, it's coming from whiskey. You know that's good.
He's got like, bare hands. You know what I mean? So who knows? No, that's cool. This one this one has a special place to me. It's the first one I ever reviewed when I did the first video. At Comic-Con, I got an early issue because I went to a summit, and in the goodie bag from that had a copy, and I ripped it in the hotel room. I read it, and then I did a video on it in the hotel room, and so it was like the first time I actually did anything outwardly about VeeFriends comics, and I haven't stopped since because it seemed like it worked.
This one is the cool thing about it is like I feel like the ninja is a really big character in VeeFriends. Mm-hmm. Anybody who's new to VeeFriends, in the series 2 cards, it's one of the short print characters. Like it was the first Topps Chrome cards that came out. They have a hat from it. That was the first 555 ninja shirt, like a t-shirt and stuff. So I feel like it's a very big character, and I think they wanted to make it a big character, which makes it extra hard. What I have to say, it's not my favorite comic.
Ooh, okay.
It's the first time we both have always like reread the comics at least for the episodes to talk about or in general, and I read it multiple times, and it had the first time, like all the other times reading the other comics, every time I reread it, I all of a sudden had a different feeling about it. I saw something different or connected with something, and this time it was the same for me. The first time I read it was at Comic-Con, but I also read it right after reading comic 5 and 6 right after each other, so I knew it was too much. Like I didn't take enough time by itself. But I read it at home by myself in a quiet moment, and I still didn't connect with it. For like each other comic had at least a panel or a page or a phrase where I just felt seen. And this one is the first time where I'm just like, I don't see myself in it. I don't get the lesson around it. I don't see a phrase that stuck with me. I don't get a panel that stuck with me. It's a good comic. It's not for me.
Yeah, well, obvious, art by Kate, interiors, and she's great. So obviously the art is great, and we've said like not every issue is going to hit for every person. I did like it, so I'm excited to get into it. We do not discuss our point of views before we get on the podcast so that we can have real, true, honest conversations about it. So that's news to me, and I didn't expect that. So I'm excited to talk about it. It's a longer comic, which is fine. It's funny because you say over and over that 5 is your favorite. And it's funny. When I read it, I was like, holy shit. Like this one's crazy, right? Issue 5 about the monster. Before we record, I always reread the issue and I write notes. So like I have a page of notes about this one. I had no notes for 5. Like, I don't mean like
really.
And don't take that the wrong way. It's not like I didn't enjoy it or whatever. It just, there wasn't anything. Maybe I absorbed it enough because like I've been writing down stuff that I didn't catch the first time because I'm now reading it through a different lens because I need to come up with talking points for the podcast. I had like nothing. It was like, it's all there. So like, I don't have a deeper meaning. I don't have a metaphor like we've been, when we talked about issue 3. So this one, I have some stuff. I don't know. It's definitely a different tone than all the others. Like there's no cameos. There's not the VeeFriends team coming to help out someone who's in need and all of that. It's just a straight up story. Like this could be about any ninja. It doesn't feel like VeeFriends got their fingerprints all over it. And that might be what didn't connect with you, is that it's not right now. I mean, like there's definitely some, tie-ins to VeeFriends, and we'll get into it, but like it's just a different tone because it's not I don't know. It felt like very standalone, because even the tie-ins to VeeFriends almost aren't relevant.
I also feel like I heard a lot of people talk about and say like it's their favorite comic, but I only heard it from male. Like VeeFriends is still very male dominated. I've yet to hear from any female in VeeFriend actually talk about it, and that might be part of it. I feel like this is a very action-driven comic, and it's just, and not to be like saying this is how females or males are, but like growing up, like I wasn't into ninjas or anything. Like it's not a typical female thing to be into, and I feel like because it's such a action-packed, the first like real action-packed comic, I feel like, besides a little bit in comic number 1, I feel like it resonated more with a lot of the male side of VeeFriends, and I haven't heard any other person but guys talk about this comic. So I wonder if it's the storyline is just more. I just don't. I wasn't into fighting things. I wasn't into like skateboard things. Like none of it that happens in the story I can really relate to. And there was no like usually I have at least one panel where there's a phrase where I like feel seen or like I feel emotionally attached to, and none of them really give me that. And I think that's why it was a great story, don't get me wrong, but it didn't. All the other ones had at least one thing where I'm like, I feel seen, or like that really got me, or like that really got me thinking. And I just didn't get that in here. But I also feel like this was a more confusing comic for me, because there's timeline shifts.
Yes.
Throughout 3 different timelines throughout the comic in one story, which I feel like makes it really hard for like to keep track of, especially the first time. I still found it fully confusing. And again, we're gonna spoil a little bit.
Fully.
Whose arm gets cut off, because the color gets taken away in that panel, that you don't know who is who. You can guess who is who, but you don't 100% know. And that threw me off the first time I read it. I'm like, which one is which? They also have like very hard to pronounce names. So it's not like a name like Tom and Tom and Jay, where you just exactly know who it is. It's like, who's like, I had to just go back and like, who's in which family? Like, it was just, the first read was not intuitive for me, where the other ones all were.
I totally know what you're talking about, because I had trouble, because I also don't see colors perfectly. So, even though I can tell, like in the opening scene, there's a battle going on, right? We don't know the backstory yet, but they do some exposition where they say like, this is a feud much older than their companies. Here's the 2 names. And it's like, we've had this for years and all this stuff. One of them's in the black and red Notorious Ninja outfit. One is like greenish, right? Because we come to learn that, that's like the gutsy gecko, motors, right. Gutsy motors. But like, so it's green, but like it's a dark green. And then you're right. In that panel where the arm gets cut off, now we can assume that it's the person that's hanging off. But like, even in that one where it starts with Karumble, are you seeing it? Yep. I can bring it up.
No, I can see it.
Okay. So you got Notorious Ninja here, green gutsy ninja here. Then it shifts perspective, where like, this is the Notorious Ninja up higher, hanging on to nothing. So it looks like he's falling. So like, that was a little confusing, right? Yep. But holding him up, and this doesn't look green to me, It
looks
I don't know whose face this is, but this is obviously the gutsy guy, the green ninja. And then I'm assuming, since he's saying this mean thing, and this is, There's no way out. Generations of blood slice. Like, I'm assuming that that's the gutsy green ninja slicing off the Notorious Ninja's arm. But like, that's what I assume. The fact that
you think the see, I think like the Notorious Ninja is cutting off his arm because he's the one falling. That's what I mean. Like, because they both have long hair now. They both have like a little thing flowing behind their back, which is funny because in the second picture, only of that page, the second picture, only Notorious Ninja has like these two strings on the neck. In the last picture, both have the strings off the neck. No, you were on the right page. No, you're on the wrong page.
Because you know why? I'm like, okay. Like, Notorious Ninja has the thing going across the body, across the chest, and that same thing is right here. So
see, there's so much going. Like,
I know.
I thought it's the other guy who got his.
Well, no, I mean, just from the context of them talking, like Notorious Ninja is trying to squash the beef, like saying merger or truce or whatever, and then gutsy green ninja's falling. Notorious Ninja grabs him to try to save him. Why would he try to save him and then cut his arm off?
Because he said these mean things. I don't like. I'm so confused by that page because you're taking my color. That's what I mean. Like, it's so confusing.
Well, listen,
still to this
I
day.
didn't find it that part that confusing, but the fact that you're not a dumb person. Like, if you're confused, others might be as well. So like, it's valid. It's valid. And muting the colors in the slice one, was a decision that I don't, you might not agree with because it might have been more clear. I think it's quite clear, at least from the context. And now you're making me find clues that Notorious Ninja got his arm cut off.
See, I think the thing is too, like, because they switch perspective here, I think this is the same as this perspective. Yes. And for me, it was like, he is clearly falling. So this must be the green guy because he's falling here. So it's like, like your brain is starting to like tell you what you're supposed, like, it was just like, and I think if it's confusing for me, who wants to understand it, like if it's a brand new person reading it, that might be confusing.
Or
and it's not the art, it's just like, there's just so much going on. And I think part of it is the 3 time jumps. You can only tell so much.
Right. It does feel a little crammed, the time jumps. Like, let's be real. And this is 3 years prior. And I was assuming this was like, does it say? It says Chiba earthquake, which Chiba is in Japan.
Also, fun side note, it doesn't say earthquake. It has a typo in it. It says, I don't know how you say it.
Yep, I see it. Oh my God. There's another typo in this issue too that someone pointed out.
The star
online. What's that?
The star later on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's hilarious. I didn't see that.
Because your brain automatically like makes up the word, so you don't recognize it.
Yeah. But anyway, so Chiba is in Japan. I actually had to look that up. So this is in Japan, the earthquake. And then 3 years later, it's a small time jump. We're in California. So like, I mean, you can easily just fill in the gap. Like, his dad died, quote unquote, died 3 years ago. And I guess his dad just commutes back and forth from California to Japan for business or something. Like, they don't really reference it, right?
Mm-hmm. I wonder
what's that?
I wonder if they moved him there to keep him safe.
After? Again, I don't know. We don't know. Because there's when he is reflecting, I don't remember the guy, the main character's name.
They say it?
They do. Yeah. I know they do. Renji
Shinoda.
Yeah. Yep. So Renji, when he's thinking back, after he gets told your dad was the Notorious Ninja, he had no idea. He's thinking back. There's a page where it has like old pictures, which I love that page. I love the composition of that page. it's him standing in the middle, and then there's these like Polaroid style pictures in the background with him on his shoulders, him playing baseball, kiss the cook, like regular American culture stuff. So like they didn't live in Japan, all of the family, and then move 3 years later. There's, you know, that there's proof right there. So I'm assuming he just goes back and forth. That's fine. That's easily explained if you just fill in the gap yourself. You don't have to know. It might not be important. Why take up more space? But this is already a longer comic. They're jam-packing stuff in here. Like you said, 3 time jumps. It starts right in the middle of a battle. Someone gets their arm cut off. And again, just going back to that for one last note, when it switches composition, am I crazy? The one where he's looking, the perspective where Notorious Ninja's looking down at Green Ninja who's falling. Then when it switches perspective, Notorious Ninja looks like he's falling. He doesn't have like an arm wrapped around anything, right? That's supposed to be him that's facing us. And that's Green Ninja looking away. He is not as green.
No, he's more blue all of a sudden.
Yeah. So like I got very confused there to figure it out. If it wasn't for the red sash on Notorious Ninja, I might have been like, I still don't know.
I agree.
But the face, I don't know, man. But you brought up a great point. So like all that aside, I didn't even notice. There's not a single female character in this that speaks until the very end. When you said that, I started searching through. There's not.
It's not even that the female has to be in the story, but like,
of course, but I didn't even notice.
You don't see yourself seen in it. Like it just don't.
Right. But like as a guy, I did not realize that. So I get what you're saying. Like as a, male that has grown, I love everything ninja. Like it's just I don't know. Maybe it is a thing. Like anything, any movie, it's just like, because they're cool, right? Yep. You want to, growing up watching Jackie Chan movies and martial arts movies and all this. It's just like, you want to be that person that can just walk into a room, get surrounded by 5 people and just walk away with all 5 of them on the floor. Like, I feel like that's a thing. So I get why, like, that makes so much sense to me now that you're saying it.
And I feel like there's females that definitely like,
for sure,
we're in like that culture. And like I remember watching all of these things, but I watched them because my dad watched them. Like,
right.
But I never really all the Jackie Chan movies and all the like, I just never connected with it. Like what's the famous one? The spin-off of Cobra Kai. Like what's the original one?
Karate Kid.
Yeah. Doesn't reckon like I watched it and it never was like,
I loved it. I know, like,
but I still know so many like males because I see themselves seen in it of like getting that extra almost father figure, like who like helps them and stuff. Like there's so much like in it that I just didn't connect with the story. There was nothing.
Right. And so again, going back to what we have said about issue 3, like not every issue is going to be for everyone.
Yep.
And that's what's great about it.
Yep.
And that's what they want. They're trying to appeal to different people. So like, yes, we all want to enjoy every single one, but some are, or I have different degrees of enjoyment of each issue. And I'm excited every time because each one has such a different tone and a different feel. So,
I think what was hard for me is because knowing VeeFriends well enough, I know how big of a character it is. So you kind of want to connect with it because you know how big it's going to be. Like, this is not going to be the last story. Like, they didn't do all this stuff with Ninja in the beginning to like let it fall off. Like, it's going to stay a big character, but it's like you get that feeling of like there's going to be big characters in the IP you like that you're just not going to connect with because there is a certain path made for that character of what it's supposed to resemble. It's supposed to resemble cool and fighting and stuff, and just like stuff that I'm just not connecting with. And you just have to be okay with like, it's just not going to be my character. Like, no matter how big it is, like, you just have to like write some characters. I feel like that's what we haven't talked about yet. Like, they have talked about that you're going to see some characters in a new light and become new, like see new favorites, but you're also going to see some characters. I don't see it as less or anything, but it's like, it's not as exciting if that's the whole trajectory it's going to be. It's just going to be this cool fighting character, and that's all it is like ninja is not going to be for me anymore. Like,
Sure.
it's just something that you have to be okay with.
Yeah, but I think it's going to connect with plenty because, listen, I, again, just covered martial arts, ninja stuff, like, love it. I also was big into skateboard culture as a kid. And I skateboarded all over town. Like, that was childhood to me. Skateboarding to school, at lunch, after school, you know, riding around town, finding steps, curbs that you take wax and wax the curbs so that you can grind on it. Like, that was, you know, childhood, middle school, high school for me. I loved that. And it was like a whole culture. Lords of Dogtown in California, which I'm not a West Coast person, but like, it was Zoo York and Lords of Dogtown, Z-Town, whatever it's called. I loved it. I would watch the skateboarding videos. I would learn. I like Tony Hawk Pro Skater video games. So like, this was maybe made for, someone like me. Now there's going to be plenty of stories because we start off with, we don't know if he's the original Notorious Ninja, but Renji's dad, he dies in an earthquake. They never found a body. So I'm sure that's a seed planted for another day. There might be other things, but potentially, but I think he's under the rubble of this building with one arm. He could bleed out. You know what I mean? So you aren't sure who has one arm, but I'm pretty sure. So then the fast forwarding to the next time jump, he's, Renji, our main character, our protagonist, is now, my calculation, 51 years old and has a family of his own that don't know that he's Notorious Ninja and took over that mantle. There's a whole lifetime of stories because he's 16 in this 1987 timeline or 1990 timeline. So there's a whole lifetime of stories here that they can get into. So obviously we'll learn how Renji becomes like an actual ninja. They touch on he's a natural, right? So they break into his apartment, his uncle and a couple goons, as he calls them, and he was able to fight him off naturally with no training. Far-fetched, but like, it's not if you're giving him like this innate ability, which might have been taught through his father growing up in a Mr. Miyagi style. I didn't know. I was painting the fence. I was waxing the floor and, okay, don't roll your eyes. But
no, I know what you mean. I've watched the movie.
Right. But like, so he might've been like, oh, I do, and that's what convinced him. So that's cool. I mean, I didn't know how they were going to tie in skateboard culture ahead of time when we saw that it was a skateboarder, because he's got a skateboard in this. No, I don't know. We've seen him with a skateboard before this issue came out.
In the sticker release.
Right. So I'm like, how is that tied in? Now I get it. And I actually like it. I think it's a good move. And I think it's going to play into his character and be a part of his character. Like, he puts the sneakers on rather than like the ninja shoe. So like, he's going to have a newer style and bring his flair to the ninja costume or uniform, whatever outfit. And then I'm sure the stories we'll get with Renji after this, of missions or whatever he has to do now that he is the Notorious Ninja, will incorporate skateboarding culture of some way. So I did enjoy it. Some fun things, if we want to change tone a little bit.
One thing before I had another hard time with a time jump when it moves from the 90s to 2025.
Okay.
Where he's a parent now, because he's just coming from not wanting to be it, putting it on just to see how it is, fight, to boom, now he's a Notorious Ninja and has lived his life as one. I was like,
well, that's the whole thing.
I think that makes it hard having like so many different timelines of like, from 1 second you don't want to be it to like, oh, I put the thing on and now I'm the dad of 2 kids and like I've been the Notorious Ninja for 25 years. It just, there's a connection missing for me. I need more of like, how did you make that decision of like what changed for you?
they're planning to stay. So like, yeah, now you want to know more. So mission accomplished. So like, obviously it's not like at the end. So right before that time jump, he was trying to escape from, you assume, the successor of Gecko Ninja,
Yep.
who we have no idea who that is, right? We assume that it's the descendant, right? The next one in line, and somehow tracks him down at the perfect time of him just taking, learning this, but with a hoverboard, which cool as hell, man, whatever, don't care. Every young skateboarding kid watched Back to the Future 2 and was like, yeah, I want a hoverboard. Okay. So he evades him, and then he's getting asked by all the press, and then it time jumps. He didn't say, I am the Notorious Ninja. Like, he didn't like assume it within 5 minutes. So there's a lot of story between that press conference or whatever, all those people asking him, which I loved, people holding up the disposable camera, just saying, because it's 1990. And it's a notepad, a disposable camera, and like a Sharpie, and then like an old news microphone, right? So we don't know what happened right after that. There could be a long, struggle still of like taking over the mantle right from there. So I get what you're saying. It feels fast, but he's not sitting there saying it. He, at the end, is just like doing it because he has to. He didn't put it on to go search for someone and being like, he put it on and then got chased. So I don't know.
But I wonder if the difference is also, again, like me not being into comic culture, and like I know books where there's sequences, but like you finish the one story within a book and then you have the next book or something. Whereas comics seem to be more that you touch on certain things and then you can have spin-offs of the different things, which books usually don't have. And I think it's just
correct.
I don't know that yet about comic culture, then since these are really my first comic books I'm reading. So like I'm thrown off as like, you didn't tell me any of this, and now you're jumping to the next thing.
Right. Well,
so I think that's more I'm trying to understand comics better for somebody who's new to it.
The answer is they can't, and it's just you may prefer a linear story, right? A beginning, middle, and end, right? This is not that. You're not getting a conclusive ending, right? You want to see that journey. Cool. Read issue 2, and you'll probably get more of the journey. Now, if they don't do that and continue with him being older and it's just the kids, I want to know Renji's story. I'm not ready. You want to fast forward to give us a glimpse in the future, but then don't touch upon it again till later? Fine. But I want to know more about Renji. I don't want to know about Renji as a dad, and he's had his life and now is I want to hear the stories of that. So, I mean, it's not a direct linear connecting 2 dots story, which is what you might think. So, that is comic. There are stuff like that in comics, but I like time jumps. Anytime there's a time jump in a story, I enjoy it because a level of complexity is nice for me. When it's a cute, straightforward, just telling you everything you need to know to get to a lesson, I wouldn't want that. This is more of like we have a 3 timelines of stories that we can dig into. If I'm interested in this character, I'm happy that there is that much story to tell because we can find out a ton of stuff about the original Notorious Ninja. Who was the first? Is it like, how long was it passed down? All of that. Then the dad's going to have a ton of stories. Renji's going to have a bunch of stories. His kids are then going to have, like, this book could go on for hundreds and hundreds of issues. And that's a good thing, right? Where Anna might come back from issue 3, Mikey from issue 1. I think they have plans, but like, do you really see like 100? I don't know. It's going to be different, but now like they've set a base, a foundation for plenty of stories, and they can be tied to all the timelines or not at all, and it'll all work. People have more creative freedom when writing for Notorious Ninja because they can choose the timeline or whatever that they like. And I think that's cool. I like a level of complexity to do that. I get what you're saying 100%, But this might be the type of thing though, that when you're done with issue 6, you'll be like, okay, I get it. It's great. Because I now, knowing what I know now, it's a confusing first episode of a show, right? Mm-hmm. When someone says, the show's great, and you're like, I watched the first episode. It's like, yeah, you need a few episodes to really get into it. It's just that.
Yep. So I think it's also the first time that there's time jumps. Like, we're used to from the other comics that the story is never really finished. Mm-hmm. Like, you waiting for the next comic because it kind of stopped as a series, but the first time that there's so many jumps. And I like time jumps in movies, but it usually goes back and forth. Like, stuff like Memento or, what's the Leonardo DiCaprio one? Inception. Like, stuff like that, where it's just like your mind is just like bent. Sure. I love that. But there was like a jump, and a jump was like, it just felt like 3 different stories crammed in one. And it was just like,
okay. Well, if you understood and could follow Memento, which goes backwards, you should be able to follow this comic. But I get what you're saying.
I think I just wasn't prepared in this comic for it to do that. And I think that's why it's just a new way of storytelling, of like having so many jumps in it.
Sure.
And again, also for it being a topic that's not super, not interesting to me, but like where I'm not drawn to, I think makes it harder. I think if it would be a topic that I'm super into, I think it's easier for you. Whereas like I have to work really hard in this one to understand it, because the topic is I'm not super into. I'm not into ninjas or anything like that. I'm not into fighting scenes. Sure. It's just not what I would go for. I think that what makes it harder to understand it, because I'm not drawn to it.
Sure. Listen, it makes sense. Did you know that those 2 movies were made by the same person? Memento and Inception?
I'm pretty sure. Nolan,
Christopher Nolan made both of those. I was just like, if you pick 2 random ones, you're clearly just a fan of him.
No, I like Christopher Nolan. But
so that makes total sense. I get it. I like it. I think, but what I do understand is the father's timeline ended inconclusive. There's no closure. The middle timeline of Renji ends. The conclusion is like he has more of a conclusion, because he just basically, you assume he's taking on the mantle, right? But it's still like he just kind of got forced into it. There's not a real it's like 3 cliffhangers, because then at the end, the last panel is the Gutsy Motors, another person. Our story is never over. It's 3 cliffhangers in one book.
And I'm not even like as bothered about the first and the last, because those stories are so short in it that I'm not really invested in these people yet.
Sure.
I think the Renji story is really where you get invested, and like you get to know more about him and like his life, and that it's so different for what he's supposed to do. I think I was really invested in that, and that's why I was like, when he all of a sudden became a dad and like didn't want to do it, and all of a sudden he's super into it, and was like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like I think I need more of the Renji story, like you said too.
You're right. Now, doing that does bring up a point. Like any story about Renji that takes place from in the 35 years between 1990 and 2025, he's not gonna die. Mm-hmm. The stakes are, it kind of takes that away. It was likely you knew that nothing really serious was going to happen, but it might, but you learned more about Renji with that time jump, that he is going to have children and he's going to have the same struggle, and he's going to decide how to handle it better than his dad did. Mm-hmm. He probably still feels some sort of way that his dad never told him, hid it his whole life, and was mad at him for doing this. How could you do this dangerous stuff? And you got taken from me when I was young, and now I have to grow up, and I got thrown into this thing. He's now in the internal struggle, seeing himself in his 2 kids and thinking about, should I not? And then the last, gloomy panel of Gutsy Motors being there, like it's almost like it's repeating itself. History is repeating itself. So, I like it. It adds a layer of depth to Renji, while also like not taking away, but I get what you're saying, but we did learn more about him. Just you want again, you wanted a little bit more to see that struggle. I think that's a perfect issue too.
Mhm.
Now that we have the foundation, now let's go back and it'll say, I'm sure the next one will say 1990 or 1992, and it's already 2 years later, and he's been the Notorious Ninja for 2 years, and he's on a mission, and somehow they'll fill in the gaps, and I'm interested to find out what happened in those gaps. And I think it did a good job of laying the foundation and then fill it. Hopefully it doesn't turn someone off enough to, who has some potential criticisms, like you're saying, to not want to go into the next ones. But I think it for sure does. And Ninja is such a big character in VeeFriends world that I think that every single person who read the first one will read the second one.
Little Easter eggs in there.
Yes. I found two very fun ones that
there's a couple of small things. I feel like that's easy. I think one is a big one, is like the rad from Radical Rabbit on a shirt.
Yep.
I think it's like one of there's multiple characters mentioned. Radical Rabbit is also a poster on the wall.
Yep.
One of his.
Yep. It's clearly like a skateboarding culture company.
Yeah. And in that, he also says, I need to stay focused, and then focus is like highlighted, and then stay dialed in. Okay. And dialed in is also highlighted. So I think that's kind of the three main characters that are kind of named.
Okay. See, and here I said in the beginning of the episode, there was not that many tie-ins, but it's like so little. I meant like cameos.
I love that DJ put himself in there, or his
or Kate put him in there.
Who doesn't? Oh, Kate did. Oh yeah, Kate did. Never mind, it was Kate, not.
Yeah.
I just totally. Who doesn't know? DJ, who's the writer of the comics, at least of this one, has something called the Draw Die Club, and it's a skull with like two crossing pencils, and that's on the wall of Renji's apartment, with like a poster in the back.
Yep.
Which is super cool. But if you don't know DJ, you don't know that.
And it was kind of covered, right? It's an Easter egg, and it's kind of covered by a word balloon. But I do have that written down, the Draw Die logo.
And it comes twice. Like it's on the red balloon, and then they turn the page, and it's on the next page too.
Is it?
It's in yellow.
Oh, you're right. And he's kind of blocking it then. Yeah. Did you see the other DJ nod that was way more subtle? Is that the only one?
I saw 555 on one of the Rams, which is like a typical VeeFriends thing.
I didn't see that.
See, like we need page numbers. VeeFriends, if you're listening, we need page numbers.
We need page numbers.
Do comics ever have page numbers? Is that a thing?
Comics have page numbers, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah, some do. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's on the first one with the 1990. It says 555.
Where's that page?
It's right after the earthquake. Page number 7.
Oh, there's.
Well, cut that part out.
Which part?
You just flipping through the comic for 10 minutes trying to find a panel.
For some reason, I remembered the panel on the bottom. So I was looking, like turning the pages and only looking at the bottom. Like, what is it? Nothing gets cut ever in these episodes.
Yeah, right. All right. There is another DJ. It's very subtle. It's on page 14.
Not gonna make me count.
All right. It's the one where the top panel, Renji's walking. There's like a staircase, and he's walking across, and he's walking into his apartment in the second panel. It's the one where Radical Rabbit poster is on the wall.
DJ reference.
Yep.
On the fridge?
Nope.
I'm trying to think of like why the letters RVS are on the fridge, but
that's probably.
Oh, is it his name? Renji, his middle name is a V? And then Shinoda?
Maybe.
Oh, it says Pearl Jam on the head.
Yeah, there you go. So if you're listening, Renji's looking into the mirror, and his hat is backwards, and he's had a hat on this whole time, and it is a Pearl Jam hat, which is, you need to know DJ to know he's a massive Pearl Jam fan.
And then the mistake of the ninja star.
Yes. It
Where
says
there's the word
sacrifice.
sacrifice. And DJ has confirmed that it was just a layer that wasn't turned off. Because a couple of people have like, maybe it was on purpose, maybe it was supposed to be there. And like DJ said, no, it was just a layer that wasn't supposed to be, that should have been turned off.
I same panel, right, with the sacrifice. The ninja star has this like thing next to it that usually signifies that it's like being thrown, but he's just holding it. What is that?
He didn't catch it because he's just holding it.
He's still, because he's holding it in the previous panel. So like it, as I noticed that and I wrote down it, you know, a lot of times in Spider-Man, do you know what the spider sense is? So, well, yeah. So Spider-Man has this like thing called the Spidey sense, where he can kind of like, it's kind of like that feeling when something's about to happen. And a lot of times, like in the comics, they'll like draw lines coming out of his head to signify like something's about to go down, he's about to get hit, or something's flying, or someone's in danger, and it just makes, it's like a hyper awareness. And it like made me think of that because the next panel someone attacks him. So I'm like, does he have that? And it made me look into, it's a thing that ninjas practiced for like hyper awareness, because their whole thing is to be like, you know, infiltrate on detectives, silence, you know, lurk in the shadows, that type of thing. So you need to have that hyper awareness. And I had a panel up when we were going to record last time. I looked at, it's a deep empathetic observation is a ninja technique that allows practitioners to read emotions, predict intentions, and sense danger before it occurs. Do you know what it's called? Canon no Ken.
What?
Canon with a K and two N's, but Canon no Ken. If you look that up, and I just thought that was funny enough to mention right there. Canon no Ken. The ancient art was trained in ninjas to infiltrate, survive, and outthink their enemies. It's not just about combat, but mastering perception. So, you know, I don't know if that was meant to be like a Spidey sense type thing. Why it's on the ninja star and not him, I don't know. But it's something at least that I noticed.
Trying to find the panel. I know on one of the streets it said V, like VE. Written on the street too. God, why can I not find any of the stuff that I like? It's like disappearing from the comic. It's ridiculous.
Thank you all for being here.
We're gonna cut all this out. Don't worry about it.
So very nice. Oh my god.
It's gone. It's gone from the comic. What the fuck?
Are you sure it was this episode?
I wrote this down. VE on street. And I was like,
oh, I found it. I found it before you. It's page 25. I don't know if that.
Of course, no, I find it too. The moment I turn the page. No, my microphone is in this. I love the color in it though. Like it's very the tones and stuff.
I love the silhouette. I mean, I said this when we had Kate on for issue 4, and her use of like silhouettes. I always think as an artistic, you know, direction, she's just like, no, I just didn't feel like drawing faces. And it's like, well, it works. Okay. Cause I really liked the panel on the second to last page where it's Renji and his 2 kids in front of the sunset, you know, at sunset with the palm tree. Like I'm learning, cause that's what I had down as my favorite panel. No, for deep reason or anything like that, just because I like the aesthetic. I'm learning. I just like scenery. You know, like I picked in issue 3, I picked the cityscape with the bridge, you know, like I'm big on backgrounds and scenery. And the foreground being just 3 silhouettes. It really highlights the background and the feel of the culture in California and skateboard. Like you skate from dawn to dusk. It's like all you do. It's all you want to do. You're riding the streets. So like you don't go in until you can't see the road, you know. So I kind of loved that one.
One thing I've noticed too, if like similar to Fearless Fairy, the expression that some of the where it's just the eyes, it's just really, really cool how they worked with that. It was like, you know what it means of just having the eyes again. I think we said the same about the Fearless Fairy one, where you you don't have a lot of face to work with. And so you over exaggerate almost like the facial expression with the eyes, but like it comes through really, really well. My favorite panel, and again, also not deep this time, just like yours wasn't, was when he wears the ninja outfit for the first time.
Yeah.
Just like looking at himself, just like kind of like it's not really me. Like I think it's also like the realization of his dad. Because if his dad wore this, like I feel like you do feel kind of a connection to him, and I think he had a very weird connection. Like you said, the Polaroids earlier showed like a very great childhood, but then he talks about his dad like he was this assassin and he didn't want anything to do with that. But then wearing this of like, I think it's probably like the struggle of, I remember you as this great dad, but then I hear you are this assassin. Like how does that the two sides of this of his dad just don't fit, not fitting together, and him I think kind of trying to understand it. But like that kind of comes through in that panels of
Well,
like.
it's funny you mentioned that, like that panel, because I had that was like in the running for best panel, and to me like the reflection is different than how he's standing.
True.
If you look like in the
Yep.
mirror, and that could be, in the mirror is clearly him. It's got the sneakers, right? He's standing more like straight up like this, right? Maybe a little bit more confident. But if you look like the red bandana's kind of off to the side, where if you look at the one that's looking into the mirror, it's behind his head. And like, I don't know if this is just me, but he looks a little hunched.
Yep.
Like a defeated, and I'm sure the cracked glass, the cracked mirror is some symbolism or something. Again, Kate might be like, "You're overthinking this." She's like, "I just thought it looked good," But again, I think it's fun to look at stuff like that. But it does, to me, look like the poses don't match up, and that could be something like, one confident, one, the two sides of his feeling of those emotions of like, being an assassin versus being a good dad and all this stuff. And then tying that into later on, he's a dad and his son is just like him. How could you idolize the Notorious Ninja? What a piece of crap. That's what Renji would have said to his dad if his dad had talked about the Notorious Ninja, who was at that time known as an assassin or whatever. But he would have said that if he didn't know, and that's what his son is doing. What I like about that is it kind of is revealing that Notorious Ninja is a known person, like, or a known entity, kind of like a Batman, right?
Yep.
Because if he knows who Notorious Ninja is, but doesn't know that his dad is Notorious Ninja, that means that other people, the general public, might not know. He might be fighting crime, using these powers for good, kind of like a Batman, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But keeping his identity secret, where it seems like we don't know because we didn't get enough time.
Yep.
We don't know if Notorious Ninja, I guess we do, because at the when they put all the cameras and the microphone, they say it's the Notorious Ninja. Okay, never mind. I was just about to go down that. I just had that thought while we were talking, because it says it's the Notorious Ninja. So that means that Notorious Ninja is world known.
Yeah.
Because we're now in California. We know Notorious Ninja was in Japan at one point, and they see the outfit, they know that it is. So, okay. What I didn't...
The slouching over also, like in that panel with the mirror, I feel like it's also almost describing the slouching over as him, Renji, which he's a very just like cool skater guy, not really having a schedule, just going with the flow. And then when he has this on, it's like, just like he has these natural tendencies to being a ninja, and it's just there that he knows how to fight. It's almost like the two sides of him that he didn't know was in him.
Yeah.
In that moment.
I like how the next panel, he just goes, "Hiya!" Like he's just, let me try this ninja thing out. Hiya! I just think that's fun. All right. So again, I enjoyed this issue. I think that it has so much potential for future issues. It does have, subject matter that I like. Here is something that kind of bothered me. It almost felt like not a plot hole, but Notorious Ninja's identity is clearly have always been a secret from everyone, right? His father never told him. He's at this skate park early, when it first shows. Renji's skateboarding. His friends are there. They know who to. Ooh, that's not going to get you a sponsorship. There's Radical Rabbit. Like these are his friends or people he skateboards with. And if you look at his skateboard, it's got the circle, the square, and the triangle under it. Like that's his skateboard. Fast forward to when he's being chased by the new Green Ninja. He goes to what looks like the same skate park with the exact same skateboard. It's kind of easy to connect those dots. Now, not the internet age, you don't have online hunters or whatever, but if it's the same crowd that hangs out there, they can be like, that's Renji's board.
Yeah.
So that's something that I just noticed that I went, he had other boards in one of the panels. He had other skateboards hanging up on his wall. Not if he's getting chased, obviously he's not going to be like, let me make sure I got. So he just went, but I feel like it'd be kind of easy for that crowd to figure out who that is. Not a criticism, but just something I noticed.
Overall it was a good comic, just didn't connect with me like the other ones did. The other one always had like some kind of emotional connection for me. What I like, and I think a lot of the comics have it now in the back and has not much actually to do with the story, having living descriptions in the back of like describing more of what the character is, and then also having in detail description of the drawings and who made it. Like this one is specifically about Kate and how she approached the drawing, and that she is somebody who like models her own drawing, so she knows like what perspective looks like. It just gives you a little bit more of an insight also into how the character was created and who creates it. I feel like that helps me be more connected to something. I really like that they're doing that, and like also doing it more now.
I love that. Any insight into the artistic process is interesting to me. So I love seeing the poses that made it into the issue. I love that.
Yep.
And I love the evolution of the ninja costume, and I like how he's putting his own, like I said earlier, like the socks and the sneakers. It's one of my favorite costumes is Miles Morales, Spider-Man. So Miles Morales is like the new. There's still Peter Parker, but Peter Parker has the regular Spider-Man outfit. Like Miles Morales has, at least in the Spider-Verse movies and early on, he just kind of makeshifts his own type of thing, but putting his flair, he like has dunks on and has like a hoodie. And with the it's different colors too. I don't know. I just love that when they make it their own style. So I love that. That's like a little tweak to the costume that fits his personality. I just like that a lot.
Yeah. I want to look back to like his dad, if we can see any shoes or anything there, because his dad is like a very. At least the other one is very old school, typical ninja.
Traditional, yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming that I don't see it particularly, but yeah, you can kind of see it in the change perspective one. Yep. Yeah, it's just your traditional in that panel in the back where it has the three next to each other. It's the first two shoes. But I like that she said, he's 16. He probably thought his ratty sneakers looked super cool. Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I still really enjoyed the issue. And if the mission was to get me interested in Renji's story to read more, I think they did that.
I would love to hear from more females about it. Like if it just like, is it a male-female kind of situation? Something we haven't really talked about. We're going to talk in more detail on a different episode is the cover issues.
Yes.
David Mack made the cover B. Kate did the cover A. Both really cool covers, and I think the super cool thing is doing New York Comic Con. They also did a special edition of the Blood Red.
My favorite thing they put out at Comic Con.
Yeah, it was a great one.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Kate's cover is great. David Mack is someone that I have been a fan of for probably 10 years now. He's a well-known comic book artist. He did I know him, or at least most, from runs on Daredevil, my favorite character. He did, the Alias comic, which, he's worked with some of my favorite writers, Brian Michael Bendis, who did Daredevil and Alias. He co-created the character Echo, who is in the, had her own TV show. It wasn't very good, but it had its own TV show in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I've been a fan of his art, watercolor. He's done a lot of projects, Kabuki, that are just really, really great. So to see his name on a VeeFriends project was like next level for me. Same in the same vein as Jay Lee, who I was a fan of, but David Mack, I'm more aware of his art and the covers and interiors that he's done prior. So it was such a fun experience learning and seeing his name attached to a VeeFriends project. Got me down to, at Comic-Con, going to meet him, getting a whole bunch of those Blood Reds signed, getting remarks, getting his cover for the viewers, behind me, him signing and remarking his cover on the comic and getting that graded. What a cool guy. I mean, such a nice guy. He was so excited to talk about it and almost shocked, right? I'm sure he gets asked to do a lot of stuff. He's a great artist. And I'm sure he had no idea that being a part of the VeeFriends and the VeeFriends community and the VeeFriends visiting him and talking to him about it, I'll bet he said, I asked him, I'm like, have a lot of people come? He goes, yes, like more than some of my work that I've been doing for, 10 years.
Yeah.
I've had more people asking it. So it's just so cool to see VeeFriends show up like that. But what a cool guy. He was so generous with his time to talk about it. He was asking questions, curious about VeeFriends lore. You could tell he knew about the ninja, but might not know everything about everything. Like Andrew Jalan was like, I did my research. I've studied. I wanted to become. So just such a surreal moment for me to have that.
I think his cover was also when they first revealed that they're going to have comic 5, 6, and 7 all at once.
Yeah.
I think his cover almost got the most attention because it's beautiful. Like the watercolors and everything is just also so different from the original Ninja. It's just like, you just look at it and you just want to dive into it. There's so much detail in it. And then there's a ninja within the ninja. And then there's a dragon in there. There's so much like that you don't see on the first glance. Like, I really, really like his art. And I didn't know him before. But like I got to meet him at Comic-Con and like you said, like super nice guy. Like just loves to talk about like his art and like his approach to it. And like was just really great to meet him.
And he's a well-known artist there. Like and legit, like he had original art, just tons of original art there. They were like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $7,000 because he also did the art for the Daredevil TV show. Born Again, that just came out, part 1 that came out, and he did a lot of the promotional art for that. So I think it's a big deal. Like it's a big deal, and that was I said the announcement of 4, 5, 6, and 7, seeing the names attached was like, oh, they're doing it. Like they're going to get the variant cover artists that are known, like they're targeting known, cool. To use DJ, go find the cool kids.
Yep.
They're targeting people that are just talented and known to draw in potentially new people and people. David Mack had a line usually when he was at his table at Comic-Con, and people saw me excited and other VeeFriends excited to talk to him about that. They were like, what is that? They saw me carrying 10 Blood Reds and they go, what is that? And I go, you got to go to the VeeFriends booth. He's doing the covers for this, but it's, and kind of talking to them. And they were like, I'm definitely going to go check that out. So just very, very cool.
I think it's a great crossover too. Like VeeFriends comic is so new, and I think breaking into like a very established industry is always hard. But like bringing in the right cover artists that are known, do great work, not just do great work, but also are good people. And there's always like in any industry, like there's people who are really good, but they're just not the best people. And I feel like VeeFriends is really good about finding people who are really good at their craft, but also really good people. Like we talked to all the artists there, and each one of them was excited about like how many people got down there and like talked to them and wanted their signature and all these things. You just feel like they were just really excited about being there and doing their art, and just I think it was really cool to be able to meet them.
I agree. All right. Anything else on the Ninja comic that you want to cover?
That was it.
Let's get to a segment. We've now recorded for a couple months, and I feel like some people know us from, what we do on a regular basis in the VeeFriends world, live streams, community nights, but some people might not. So I thought it'd be fun to do like a get to know your host rapid fire question segment. What do you think? You up for it?
Let's do it.
All right. But here's the little
reptiles exist.
What's that?
Reptiles exist.
Reptiles exist. They do. No, we're not playing 20 questions ever again.
Thank goodness.
Here's the twist of this. I started to write questions and then went, let's do something else, because we had some funny, good, positive feedback of when I did a chat GPT search of VeeFriends, little stories or something behind it, because some of them got off the wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I typed in some rapid fire questions for get to know your co-host, and I haven't read the questions, but I'm going to read them fast. We're going to try to keep this to a certain time limit. I'm going to read them all, and hopefully there's some in there that just make us laugh. What do you think?
What can go wrong?
Yeah. Okay. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Start the clock. Anne, bag, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
City or countryside?
Both.
Okay. Sweet or savory? It's sweet. I already know.
Yep.
Phone calls or texting?
Texting.
Yeah.
Phone call.
Planner or wing it?
I didn't hear the first one.
Planner? Are you a planner or do you like to wing it?
Used to be a planner, now I'm more of a winger.
It's because you have no time now. You're super busy. You don't have time for bed. I'm introvert, extrovert. You're going to say introvert, but
actually both.
Yeah, I was going to say.
What's it called? The ambivert? There's a word for it now.
Is there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. News to me. Early bird or last minute? That's kind of the same thing. All right. Music or podcasts?
Music.
Favorite genre, I guess, of music or podcast?
Podcast, self-help or personal development. Music, electronic.
Interesting. How German of you. I feel like that's very European.
That is very German.
Yeah. Favorite artist or band?
I don't listen to bands per se.
Okay. Binge watch or weekly episodes of TV?
Weekly episodes. I just don't have time to binge watch.
Fair enough. Favorite comfort show?
Friends.
Movie theater or couch?
Used to be movie theater, now couch, because I can work while I watch.
Just how the directors intended to be distracted.
Yeah.
Book or audiobook?
Used to be book, now audiobook. Again, so I can multitask.
Yep. So. Do you like fiction or nonfiction?
I don't know. But both. I like fiction, but also like nonfiction, because some stories are just so wild that you're like, what? That really happened? But usually I would say nonfiction.
Okay. I know the answer to this. Pineapple on pizza, yes or criminal? Yes.
Did I tell you I made Corso eat pineapple pizza?
No.
He was so against it, and he had never tried it. And when I saw them at the card show, I ordered, of course, pineapple pizza, and he said, never had it. I'm like, you need to try now. And he actually liked it. So it's like,
yeah, it's not bad.
It's my go-to pizza.
It's at least 15th on the list of toppings I'm putting 15 toppings on before I'm putting pineapple. Not because I don't like it. It's just I never would prefer it because I'm more of savory. There you go. Best fast food fries.
Ooh. We don't have a lot of fast food places here, like good ones. We have the bad ones. Five
Okay.
Guys, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I've never had it. Food you irrationally hate.
Oh, like cottage cheese, stuff like that.
Okay.
Ugh, just like it was like somebody already ate it.
What's a snack you demolish at 2 a.m. or would? Because I know you're not.
Oh, I am.
It's candy. It's got to be candy.
Like, yeah, anything candy. I will eat. And listen, when we have community night and we do long community nights and sometimes it's until like 1 a.m., I stop community night and I go eat dinner. I don't go to bed hungry.
What do you eat? Candy?
Anything that's there. Like, I will make full on second dinner.
Okay.
Like pasta and everything if it's just in the fridge and just like eat a full on meal.
Okay. Weird food combo you actually love. Is obviously a food.
I guess pineapple pizza.
Fair enough. Food you'd fight someone over. Pineapple pizza. Would you survive a zombie apocalypse?
I don't know. Excuse me. I would talk to them a lot. Like, I'm not a big talker, but I like, let's talk about your feelings. You know, how much is like talk them to death.
They're dead. They're not talking to you. And if you try to talk to the other humans, they're like, shut up. What's your most useless skill?
I can't touch my tongue with my nose with my tongue.
Okay, that is quite useless. If your life had a laugh track, when would it be played most?
A laugh track? Or like when
like
in
a
like a
sitcom
sitcom
where
when would we play it most? Me
like while
making
you're recording
me writing a plan for the day. Because it's never gonna happen that way. It's just not.
All right. What's the pettiest thing you've ever gotten mad about?
Like I did something, like somebody did something petty to me? I don't understand the question.
Troll comments on the internet?
Oh gosh, don't even get me started.
Anyway, what the hell you die on? That doesn't matter.
What?
Oh God, this is funny because you just kind of said, if aliens showed up, would you talk to them?
Absolutely. I would tell them about VeeFriends. Oh, have you read the VeeFriends?
They're gonna be like, we're getting the fuck out of here. This broad won't shut up. Pure chaos round because it broke it up into rounds. All right, this will be the last segment. If you had a walk-up song, what is it?
Like a fight song?
Like, yeah, I guess so. Like an entry song.
Something electronic.
Yeah. Okay. If your phone exposes you, what app gets you canceled?
I would say Instagram. You know, you don't use Instagram that much, but in Instagram you can. I think before I die, I should probably show that. You can have folders. You can save reels and stuff for like your own, and you can put them into categories. And I have a folder for like all kinds of shit. But like one is personal, like all like the really dark humor I find extremely funny and stuff like that. It's all in there. Like it would just be like, and it's a very different person inside, you know.
We need access. Yeah. Who's a hacker? All right. If your life was a reality show, what's it called? Get bagged?
Chaos with a side of candy. I don't know.
Okay. Who plays you in the movie?
Somebody unhinged. I'm so bad with remembering names. Like I don't know most actors' names. I will recognize them. I'm a visual person.
Okay, we'll skip it. If you could delete one everyday task forever, what would it be?
Cooking.
Cooking? You don't like cooking? Not relaxing?
Like I do it every now and then, but like if I could just, when I'm hungry, there's just food now there.
Oh yeah.
I just would rather do something else than having to cook.
So it's something that I don't want to delete because I love food, but I also just wish I was better at it. What fictional world would you absolutely not survive? Fuck that. What fictional world would you want to live in?
VeeWorld.
Perfect. If you disappeared for a year, where would we find you?
Somewhere where a camera is. I would make content somewhere. Or editing.
In your house with a tripod.
A card shop? No, I've never been to a card shop. Somewhere where you can buy VeeFriends, somewhere where there's a camera, or where there's an editing tool. Those are the 3 hints.
All right. What's one thing you're irrationally good at?
I don't think I'm irrationally good at anything, but
Dancing. Got it. What's one thing you're shockingly bad at?
a lot of things.
Answering questions.
Yes. Decisions. Making decisions.
Dis-
I'm not a decisive duck.
All right. That was our probably way too long lightning
It was a good one,
round.
though. I liked it.
That was fun. Hope you guys got to learn a little bit more about Anne. She has dark humor.
Should I find one? I'm going to find one thing to share from that.
Yes.
It's hopefully not too dark. Just every time I see like a really funny like meme or like a reel, it's usually like dark or where just like where I think about like people are idiots, you know, just way too often.
That's like videos of like people getting hurt. Do they make you laugh?
No, I can't stand those.
Okay.
I hate the word empath and I'm not one, but like when I see stuff like that, it hurts in my body and it sounds super stupid to people. But like if I see those videos and somebody hurts their arm, my arm hurts starting. I can't describe it. It's just what it is. I can't watch those videos.
Okay. Anne's weird, guys.
I know. Okay, what's a personal? Like, it's not that bad, but like I found shit like that funny. Oh, of course, it's not gonna. No. Well, I will stop being a sarcastic asshole. Find out next week on. I think the fuck not. Like stuff like that. I save all the time. It's like this is part of who I am.
This is the stuff that makes you laugh.
Yeah.
Makes you tick. I like it.
Or like I got ADHD, attention deficit. Hold up, is that a raccoon? Or Year of the Drunk Raccoon. You heard of this drunk raccoon, right? The story. There was a raccoon who went into a store and got all the alcohol bottles out and destroyed them, drank it, and then passed out in the bathroom.
That's funny.
The amount of people who sent me that is ridiculous on multiple socials. Like I got it in text, on X, on Instagram, like so many people. I was like, I don't know if I should feel like offended about that.
Well, this was fun. I liked that we had different opinions and different perspectives on an issue. I feel like that was the first time we really had the different views.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you showed me some things that, and hopefully I showed you some things that were like, okay, you know, I get it now. And that makes more sense. But, you know, I think it was fun and it's a good foundation. That's really all I can say. I mean, that's to me, they executed on that and that front. And that is to me one of the most important things of the first issue.
I think that's what part of this podcast is too. Like, it's not just about like, oh, everything is great. It's like, it's okay to say like, it's not that the comic is bad. It's just like, it doesn't resonate with me. And like, I was still really excited to record because I was hoping that you could give me some insight of like, how does it resonate with you? So I could see it out of a different perspective. I think that's part of the whole, why we do this too, to like learn from each other and like why it may be connected with you versus with me. And I think that's the cool part about it.
Yeah,
again, it's not that the comic is bad. It's just like not like we said, not everything will resonate with you. That's okay.
Yeah, and it makes total sense. And so, you know, you said you were interested in getting some more female perspectives. Hopefully, you know, if you're listening, if you're watching and are female, please comment your thoughts on this issue because, you know, we want to know. And if there's any comments about anything that you'd like to see on here, please reach out. We're always open to some segment ideas or something like that. Well, then from Anne and I here at Is It Canon, thank you for listening. And we might have a very special guest. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you on the next one.
Don't forget, read more comics.
Read more comics, please.
What was that?
That was my point. You didn't want me to just say stuff.
I noticed that you have been, we used to switch off. Like I see a trend here. I think you're trying to become like the nice part of this, and I'm becoming the asshole.
Once in my life can I not be the asshole?
It's slowly getting it. It's okay. I'm actually feel like I'm actually kind of okay with it because I'm usually like the nice person and everything else. I think I need an asshole outlet too, to get all the pent up energy. Yeah. And maybe Is It Canon might be my, you know, I just need a different, just like you have Tom and Teaser. Yeah. I have Anne and I need, you know, we got to figure something out.
Ego. All right. There's the comment of the week. Alter ego name for Anne Bag. I think this is going to get some great suggestions. And I also want to do one more thing before we sign off, for especially for the people who have stayed all the way to the end of this episode. We're going to do a giveaway. We talked about the Blood Red comic that they did at Comic-Con. This one is opened. It is a 9.0, but it is signed by David Mack. We're going to give this away. All you have to do is be a follower on YouTube and drop a comment on this episode, and you will be entered to win, and we'll do the drawing for the following week.